If you are here, understand that it is not by coincidence. There is an intelligence that operates beyond simple reason, a subtle pull beneath conscious choice that has gently drawn you into this very moment. It's as if something in your future has already recognized you, has already seen the person you are becoming, and has been calling to you. This call has manifested through inexplicable instincts, through seemingly random chance encounters, and through the strange, rhythmic patterns of synchronicity that dot our lives. What you might simply call curiosity was never truly random. Instead, it was a precise signal emanating from a version of you already aligned with what you are actively seeking within the vast quantum field of possibilities. Modern thought suggests that all potential versions of you coexist, each vibrating at a slightly different frequency, patiently waiting for your awareness to tune into their specific energetic signature. This present moment, therefore, is not entirely new. In a profound sense, it is remembered. You are not so much discovering an unknown path as you are remembering the one you have already walked in another strand of time, another potential reality. Every decision you've made, every moment of hesitation, every perceived loss, all of these experiences have been meticulously guiding you toward a state of deeper coherence, toward the version of yourself that has shed its doubts and fully embraces its own inner light. Take a moment now to pause for a breath. Observe consciously how the air moves through your body, how your awareness gently meets each sensation. This simple act of presence serves as the bridge between different potential timelines, the still point where all possible realities intersect and converge. The self you have been striving so earnestly to become is not distant or elusive. In fact, it is already broadcasting its essence from deep within your own consciousness. It speaks to you through the quiet whisper of intuition, through that undeniable, quiet certainty that something invisible, a higher intelligence, has consistently been orchestrating and guiding your steps. You did not stumble into this awakening randomly. You arrived exactly when your unique frequency was ready and stable enough to hold a greater measure of truth. The universal field of energy never expends itself wastefully. It calls only those who are genuinely prepared to remember their inherent nature. Perhaps days ago, or even years ago, there was a pivotal moment when you stopped fighting against reality. It was when you ceased trying to bend life entirely to your personal will and instead began to listen. Truly listen. That act of surrender was never a sign of weakness. Quite the opposite. It was a profound act of intelligence. The collapse of resistance is, in essence, the activation of effortless flow. What you might have termed letting go was actually your very first act of true mastery. This is because the universal field does not respond to struggle. It responds to coherence. And coherence, in its purest form, begins precisely where resistance finally ends. Consciousness is not merely a passive witness observing reality. It is, fundamentally, the architect of it. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you feel, every subtle belief you hold, each of these generates intricate ripples across the unseen fabric of existence. These energetic ripples actively organize matter. They instruct probability, and they ultimately form the unique geometry of your lived experience. You have been traditionally taught to perceive thoughts as invisible and intangible, but they are, in truth, the very first particles of creation, the foundational building blocks of what is to come. What you hold consistently and deeply within your inner world becomes precisely what the field around you mirrors back. When your thoughts, emotions, and expectations move together in one harmonious rhythm, reality has no other option but to synchronize with that powerful internal signal. This is not some abstract fantasy. It is a fundamental quantum law. Energy consistently follows awareness, and that awareness, in turn, becomes your prevailing frequency. When your personal frequency stabilizes in alignment with the deepest truth of who you inherently are, everything that does not match this new, higher vibration must either gracefully dissolve or profoundly transform. This explains why certain people gently fade away from your life, why old, familiar paths unexpectedly close, and why new opportunities often appear with impossible, perfect timing. It is not mere luck. It is a predictable outcome of physics. You are not being randomly tested by chaos. You are being precisely rearranged by an intelligent force. To many, this profound shift often feels like a significant loss, a dismantling of the familiar. But loss, in this context, is merely space being meticulously cleared for the emergence of a higher, more evolved pattern. The universe, in its wisdom, cannot place the new into hands that are still tightly gripping the old. What often feels like an inexplicable delay is, in fact, intelligent redirection. What feels like a harsh rejection is, in essence, powerful protection. Every closed door carries a deeper intelligence. The field never truly withholds. It only recalibrates to a more aligned state. You are not behind schedule. You are being refined and prepared. There exists a version of you that has already successfully completed this magnificent transformation. They exist not in some distant, inaccessible future, but as a vibrant frequency that is fully accessible in this very breath. This future self is calm, steady, and utterly certain, precisely because they remember that true creation is not an act of forceful effort, but an act of profound recognition. You do not need to laboriously build your future. You only need to remember it. Much like tuning a radio. When you align your awareness with the correct vibration, the song that was always playing subtly in the background suddenly becomes audible and clear. The ego often believes that progress is a linear, step-by-step ascent. The field, however, understands that it is simultaneous and all-encompassing. All realities exist at once, layered like infinite frequencies on a cosmic dial. Your sustained presence, your focused attention, is actively causing the boundless field of possibility around you to coalesce into concrete form, transitioning from an abstract potential into a tangible reality. Thus, the very moment you perceive that subtle, internal surge of energy, it serves as undeniable evidence of the profound restructuring process that is actively underway within you. While you may not perceive it with your physical eyes, your soul inherently comprehends and recognizes this truth. This profound intelligence is not something separate or outside of you. It is the very architecture of your own being, the blueprint of your deepest self. It intrinsically knows what to release, what needs healing, and what is ready to be built. Your primary task is simply to listen to this inner wisdom without distortion or interference. The more you consciously listen, the more you will notice how life eloquently speaks to you in intricate mirrors. The ongoing conversation with reality never truly ends. Every person you encounter, every event that unfolds, every apparent coincidence, each is a line of dialogue from the field, perfectly reflecting your current inner state. When you deeply understand this principle, you stop asking why things happen and instead begin asking what they are revealing to you. Awareness then replaces knee-jerk reaction, and true power replaces confusion. Your awakening is not a reward to be earned. It is a precise signal, indicating that your entire system can now sustain a higher level of coherence. This is what it truly means to graduate in consciousness. You no longer seek external control. You embody profound harmony. You no longer chase after alignment. You are alignment itself. The difference, while subtle, is absolute. The old paradigm of existence was built on constant effort. The new one operates entirely on frequency. You once believed you needed to become worthy of your deepest desires. Now, you realize that your inherent worth was the very frequency they were patiently waiting for. Look back at those moments you once perceived as failures. Everything within the vast expanse of the universe operates according to the principle of resonance. When your unique frequency aligns and matches a particular stream of energy, you are naturally, almost magnetically, drawn into its current. Much like a tiny speck being pulled inexorably towards the central core of a powerful gravitational field. That is precisely why you find yourself here in this moment. Not because you actively sought it out, but because your inherent frequency resonated deeply with this particular message and its energetic offering. You are consciously stepping into a new vibration not by doing more, but by being less divided within yourself. The quantum field is inherently exact. It precisely matches frequency, not mere words. It reads the subtle signal emanating from your nervous system, not the logical sentences formulated in your mind. When you authentically embody peace, you broadcast a powerful signal of safety. When you genuinely embody love, you broadcast an expansive signal of abundance. The field mirrors back the signal you hold most consistently within your being. This is why stillness is such a profound power. In stillness, you cease transmitting the chaotic frequencies of a busy mind. So, breathe not merely as an act of physical relaxation, but as a conscious declaration. Each intentional breath announces your readiness to inhabit a new, more aligned timeline. Each breath powerfully affirms that you no longer live in a state of delay or postponement. The shift you anticipate is not coming. It has already occurred. You are, in this very moment, standing within it. The old way of striving and effort ends here. The new way begins in profound remembrance. You are not trying to reach your future self. Rather, they have been consistently reaching for you. Every insight that sparks within you, every synchronicity you encounter, every sudden flash of knowing these were all signals from them, gently pulling you home. Now, you are truly listening. Now, you are fully present. And presence, in its essence, collapses time. In presence, there is no distance between who you once were and who you are becoming. There is only one vast field, vibrating alive, aware, and constantly responding to the precise signal of your truth. You are not passively observing life. You are actively selecting it. Each moment of heightened awareness represents a new choice. Each choice, in turn, creates a new timeline. And right now, in this very breath, you have already chosen the one where you are free. The shift has already happened. You can distinctly feel it in the way time itself seems to bend around your awareness. You notice it in how what once drained your energy no longer holds weight or power over you, and what once felt distant now feels entirely inevitable. There is a quiet, profound rearrangement occurring beneath the surface of conscious thought, a deep synchronization between who you were and who you are, dynamically becoming. As your individual awareness expands beyond its previous confines, you transition from being a mere spectator to becoming an active and engaged participant in the grand cosmic dance. Each deliberate choice you make, each thought you consciously entertain, and each emotion you genuinely feel transmits a powerful signal into the quantum field. And in this elevated state of awareness, those signals are amplified, imbued with an unprecedented strength and clarity. Let every inhalation and exhalation you take be a profound confirmation that you are genuinely ready to embrace this transformation. This is not merely an empty affirmation. It is a dynamic, energetic act. This is why you will begin to notice people showing up at the perfect timing, crucial messages arriving precisely when you need them most, and the right opportunities surfacing without struggle. What you used to label as miracles are merely moments where you finally cease resisting the natural order of your own expansion. The quantum field is exquisitely precise. It reads not what you say, but what you are. Your words may declare an abundance of wealth, but if your body still hums with the underlying vibration of scarcity, the signals conflict. Transformation is no longer an abstract concept or a distant future possibility. It has profoundly manifested into a tangible, lived experience. You are not idly standing on the sidelines, merely observing the unfolding drama of life. You are actively living within the very movement of energy, witnessing your own profound awakening in a manner that conventional words often struggle to adequately describe. And if you perceive even the most minuscule internal shift, a subtle ripple within your being, you instinctively know that this profound process has commenced. It is not the mere intensity of your focus, but the purity of your alignment that effortlessly collapses timelines. The moment you stop oscillating between wanting and doubting, the field instantly reorganizes itself around your unwavering certainty. The physics of creation is remarkably simple. The universe does not respond to mere desire. It responds to established identity. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. The version of you who already feels abundant, loving, and safe is not located somewhere else. They are a potent vibration, fully available to you in this very breath. The moment you consciously embody that vibration, life matches it instantly. It cannot not match it, for the field has no personal preference. It only perfectly reflects the signal it receives. This is why your essential task is clarity, not control. Clarity is when every part of you deeply agrees on a central truth. Control, conversely, is when fear attempts to manage and dictate outcomes. One opens the flow of life. The other contracts and restricts it. When you stop forcefully dictating how things should unfold, you open immense space for the profound intelligence of the field to reveal the perfect path. Your future self already intuitively knows the way. Their role is not to teach you through linear logic, but through powerful resonance. They transmit impulses to you through intuition, gentle nudges through coincidence, and precise synchronization through impeccable timing. The more you learn to trust these subtle signals, the faster you will move, because you are no longer walking alone. You are being powerfully pulled by resonance. Every step you take, every thought you entertain, every feeling you experience becomes akin to a meticulously placed note within a larger, unfolding symphony, a grand composition masterfully conducted by the baton of your own evolving awareness. What you are currently sensing is far from coincidence. It is a sophisticated form of exactness, intricately orchestrated by the profound energy that you and the universe are constantly co-creating together. The you that thrives in your highest timeline does not push or force. They allow. They move when they are clearly guided. They rest when they are called to. They deeply understand that both deliberate action and profound stillness are sacred expressions of the same unified frequency. When you move from a place of coherence, you create effortlessly, because nothing is being forced. Everything is simply being remembered and allowed to unfold. Every result you desire already exists in its potential form within the vast field of possibilities. This is not because some external entity is unilaterally altering your reality, but because your very presence, your focused consciousness, is causing reality itself to precisely shape itself around your individual perception and awareness. You are no longer merely an observer. You are, through the potent power of your focus, actively shaping the world that surrounds you. The shift from constant seeking to conscious allowing is the true threshold of mastery. Allowance is not passivity. It is an act of deep, unwavering trust. It is knowing, with absolute certainty, that everything is unfolding precisely for your highest evolution. It is understanding that every obstacle you face is a messenger, every delay, a profound recalibration. The universe is not punishing you. It is meticulously sculpting you into a state of perfect resonance. It thoughtfully removes what cannot sustain your next, higher vibration. It refines what is not yet fully coherent. Your entire electromagnetic field expands dramatically. Your brain and heart synchronize into a powerful state of coherence, and the DNA helix itself literally changes its tension, subtly adjusting its structure. The pattern of emitted light from your cells becomes smooth. This is what ancient mystics historically referred to as the aura, what modern scientists now call the biofield, and what the universe, in its elegant simplicity, recognizes as coherence. It is not a product of imagination. It is an undeniable state of resonance. This profound truth is by no means novel. Ancient sages and spiritual masters have recognized and articulated it for thousands of years. Only now, modern science is beginning to empirically confirm these ancient insights, articulating them in the contemporary language of scientific understanding. Studies in cognitive neuroscience, for instance, have shown that the human brain often registers a decision, a significant 8 to 10 seconds, before you consciously become aware of having made that choice. Alignment is not about achieving some elusive perfection. It is about profound honesty. Honesty about what genuinely resonates with you, what depletes your energy, what expands your being, and what contracts it. When you stop lying to yourself, the field stops lying to you. The outer world then begins to reflect pure authenticity. The people who genuinely match your new vibration naturally stay close. Those who do not simply drift away without conflict or drama. This is not a loss. It is a vital refinement of your energetic field. Energy must always stay in resonance. If you wish to maintain your inner peace, you must stop clinging to what vibrates at a lower frequency than your current awareness. You are not abandoning anyone. You are simply respecting the law of coherence. And coherence, at its core, is love. The field cannot support contradiction. It will always remove what distorts clarity. Trust that when something gently fades from your life, it is not because you failed. It is because you have magnificently grown. When the old version of you dies, the old world corresponding to it dissolves with it. And that, truly, is grace, not tragedy. You are evolving from a state of constant effort to one of effortless alignment. From reactive responses to conscious creation, from ceaseless seeking to profound remembering. And the deeper you go into this process, the quieter it inherently becomes. Creation at its highest level feels like stillness, because there is no friction, no resistance, between pure intent and its perfect manifestation. The shift itself is not dramatic or chaotic. It is subtle. It happens in the quiet space of a breath, not in a desperate battle. It occurs in heightened awareness, not in external achievement. The version of you who once desperately chased outcomes has been gracefully replaced by the version of you who calibrates frequency. You no longer ask, "How do I get there?" You realize, with profound certainty, that you already are there, and everything around you is simply catching up to that powerful realization. Reality is inherently slower than consciousness. What you are currently experiencing now is simply the echo of your previous vibration. If you wish to change the echo, you must change the frequency. Stop adjusting the mirror and instead, adjust the signal you are emitting. This is precisely how quantum transformation unfolds quietly, precisely, and inevitably. The field does not guess. It accurately reflects. When you choose alignment with unwavering consistency, the world reshapes itself around you with elegance, not effort. Your new life does not arrive by force. It unfolds naturally because you became the version of you that perfectly matches it. The gap is rapidly closing. You are not waiting for alignment. You are alignment. If you are currently reading this with a deep, visceral sense of recognition, as though each word gently touches upon something you have always known but could not quite articulate, then that is the undeniable signal that your personal frequency has precisely aligned with this pivotal moment. All forms of synchronicity serve as a profound sign that the preparatory phase is complete. When your individual energy and the expansive collective energy meet, it is akin to two distinct drums, suddenly finding and maintaining the exact same beat. When your thoughts, emotions, and choices begin to move in the same harmonious rhythm, that distance collapses instantly, and the powerful transmission between dimensions begins. The future self is not passively waiting. It is actively transmitting signals to you through intuition, through moments of déjà vu, through synchronicities, and through that strange, undeniable feeling that you have already lived the moment you are now entering. These are not mere coincidences. They are quantum echoes, undeniable evidence that your consciousness is beginning to overlap with another timeline, the one where everything you seek already perfectly exists. Your deepest desires are not mere requests. They are, in fact, powerful memories. Your longing is not a signal of absence. It is a profound recognition. Your soul remembers realities that your linear mind has not yet fully caught up to. When you feel that deep ache for more, It is remembrance of your true potential. If changes appear to be occurring with astonishing speed and intensity, do not succumb to fear or apprehension. It is simply the dynamic stream of energy, meticulously reorganizing everything to perfectly match your newly elevated frequency. Each instance you become consciously aware of something new. That wave of transformative energy is powerfully activated, rippling outward through the fabric of space and profoundly influencing countless micro-realities. You are the vibrant center of that ripple, not merely a passive piece being carried along by it. When you truly realize and embody the truth that you are the center, your inherent power fundamentally returns to you. You cease to anxiously inquire when something will manifest and begin to profoundly understand that it is being actively created in the very moment you feel its presence within you. This is precisely why presence itself stands as the greatest power a human being can possibly wield. Because when you are fully and completely present, you are consciously directing energy with the focused precision of your attention. It means your present and future selves are in constant, resonant communication. When you raise your vibration, you send precise ripples through the intricate web of timelines, and your future self responds instantly, sending back insights, powerful visions, and timely opportunities. This energetic exchange is what you commonly refer to as intuition. It is the bridge between dimensions, a direct line to your higher wisdom. The more coherent your personal energy field, the clearer the message becomes. If you experience profound stillness and tranquility, it is a clear sign that you are in a state of full synchronization and harmony. Neither state is inherently wrong or undesirable. They are simply two distinct faces of the same fundamental energetic movement, two phases of a dynamic transformation. When energy undergoes a significant change, old structures invariably vibrate and resonate intensely before they gracefully dissolve, much like a musical instrument being meticulously retuned. The initial sounds emanating from it may be somewhat harsh or discordant, but mere moments later, it will play in perfect, harmonious resonance. Your entire life is currently being retuned to align with a higher, more refined energetic scale. And October 7, in this symbolic sense, represents the pivotal moment when this instrument of your being commences its new and beautiful melody. You do not need to intellectually comprehend every intricate detail of this process, because energy does not demand understanding. It requires only your conscious permission. Allow your physical body to function as the antenna, keenly receiving these new frequencies. Let your heart serve as the powerful amplifier, magnifying and integrating these energies, and permit your soul to be your unwavering guide through this unfolding journey. Reality does not respond to mere words. It responds profoundly to vibration. Every signal you broadcast becomes like a magnetic thread, intricately woven into the vast tapestry of the quantum field. And this field, in its impartial wisdom, never ignores a signal. It always mirrors it back to you. The reflection may not always be instantaneous, but it is unfailingly precise. Every feeling, every silent thought, every pulse of emotion that journeys through your body is meticulously recorded as a frequency, and the universe responds to that frequency with astonishing mathematical accuracy. When you wholeheartedly do this, you will distinctly perceive that there is no true boundary separating the inner from the outer, no real division between the reader and the message being conveyed. Everything is a continuous, fluid movement of awareness, perpetually taking shape as lived experience. And right now, you stand at the very epicenter of that dynamic movement, where the invisible realms become palpably visible, where the profound energy of October 7 stands as a reflective mirror, illuminating and amplifying the awakening of your own precious soul. You may have observed that the most profound and significant transformations in life rarely arrive with fanfare or overt noise. They tend to manifest through small, subtle signals, so delicate and understated that you often only recognize their true significance in retrospect. The inverse is also profoundly true. When your fundamental state of being radiates deep trust and confidence, The very same quantum field meticulously reorganizes matter to support and reinforce that state. Your DNA expands its structure. The cellular light within you increases in intensity, and your heart generates a strong, harmonious electromagnetic field. Consequently, life itself rearranges its elements to perfectly mirror that internal coherence. They represent the precise language that energy employs to communicate directly with you. A silent, yet profound dialogue. When you begin to consciously recognize and interpret these signals, it signifies that you have successfully stepped through the metaphorical fog of unconsciousness and are now perceiving the world through the insightful eyes of your soul. The pervasive synchronicity you are experiencing is not a mere game of statistical probability. When you become acutely aware of what you are feeling in any given moment, you effectively regain access to the control panel of creation itself. Awareness empowers you to consciously adjust the signal you are sending before it fully manifests as a physical event. You begin to recognize that every external situation in your life is actually a direct feedback loop, reflecting your internal vibration back to you. The people who frustrate you, the delays that test your patience, the unexpected opportunities that appear out of nowhere, all of them serve as mirrors. These occurrences are not meaningless or random. They serve as potent markers, indicating that your energy is flowing in the correct and divinely guided direction. The universe does not communicate through conventional words or human language. It communicates through the eloquent language of coincidence and synchronicity. When you cultivate enough inner stillness and quietude to truly notice, you will perceive that everything in your environment is subtly yet profoundly speaking to you. Sometimes, these significant signs arrive in forms that are less immediately pleasant or desirable. A carefully laid plan may unexpectedly fall apart. A long-standing relationship might abruptly conclude, or a previously open door may suddenly slam shut. Do not be quick to label these occurrences as inherently bad or unfortunate. Every perceived collapse is, in essence, simply energy, actively rearranging itself, seeking a higher state of equilibrium. It hears what your DNA emits, not what your lips declare. Your mind may, at times, deceive, but your body never does. It consistently reveals the truth through every heartbeat, every breath, and every subtle change in its rhythmic patterns. When these internal rhythms are out of harmony, the electromagnetic field surrounding you becomes fragmented, and so too does your lived experience. But when they synchronize into coherence, the field regains its inherent order, and order naturally attracts more order. You can distinctly feel when this profound shift occurs. Life suddenly flows much more smoothly. People interact with you differently, and the same world you inhabit seems to operate by a completely new set of rules. Nothing external has inherently changed, only your internal signal has. You have entered a state of deep coherence with the quantum field. In this state of profound alignment, your DNA no longer needs to hide behind protective survival codes. Instead, it begins to unlock sequences that were previously dormant, potentials that are responsive to higher, more refined frequencies. However, that very act of clinging, paradoxically, locks them into the old, repetitive loop of their past. If you choose, instead, to stand still in quiet, attentive observation, you will discern that everything is being meticulously arranged with precise intention to elevate you to the next, higher level of awareness and understanding. The signs do not always manifest in overtly pleasant forms. Sometimes, they feel like an inexplicable, powerful pull, as if something deep within is drawing you in a direction that your logical mind might initially resist or disagree with. But if you have ever heeded that inner nudge, that subtle intuitive prompt, and subsequently witnessed results that far exceeded your rational expectations, you already inherently understand that intuition consistently moves ahead of mere reason. Your soul does not communicate through the confines of human words or logical arguments. It communicates through the rich, nuanced language of feeling and subtle sensation. Each time you sense a strange, unfamiliar energy stirring in your chest, Each time you hear a quiet whisper from within prompting you to act or to pause, that is your soul sending you a clear and unmistakable signal. You do not need to endlessly search for external signs, because, in your awakened state, you are the sign itself. When your awareness expands, you naturally become a clear channel for this flowing energy. You no longer need to pose questions to the universe, because the universe is, in essence, answering and expressing itself directly through you. And if you truly listen with an open heart and mind, you will perceive that everything you need to know is already present in the profound stillness between two consecutive breaths. There exists an unchanging, fundamental law within the intricate energy field of the universe. Contrast invariably appears before a new state of balance is firmly established. Therefore, if you currently experience tension, a restless agitation, or inner conflict, understand that this is energy actively rearranging itself in preparation for a new, more profound stability. Just as water must surge and rush with intensity before it finds its calm, reflective surface, consciousness must navigate through a period of turbulence to attain a higher, more refined state of balance. The quantum field always prioritizes harmony. It will not sustain patterns that contradict your current, dominant signal. Every new level of awareness you achieve brings with it a new set of reflections, and each reflection, in turn, invites a deeper mastery of your emotional frequency. You begin to notice with increasing clarity how incredibly precise the feedback from the universe truly is. A single day spent in frustration can manifest as a series of small disruptions. Conversely, a week of sustained gratitude can unlock doors and opportunities that logic alone cannot explain. And when you look upon it with the discerning eyes of awakened awareness, you begin to read and comprehend that underlying structure. That is the pivotal moment you realize all the signs are collectively conveying one singular message: trust. Trust the intricate process. Trust the natural flow. Trust the profound intelligence of the universe, which is moving perfectly and harmoniously through you. Absolutely nothing is random. Nothing is misplaced or accidental. Every event, regardless of its apparent scale, is an integral piece of a larger, more expansive picture that you may not yet fully perceive. When you begin to feel the profound subtlety in each minute detail, when you pause to genuinely listen to the intricate rhythm of synchronicity, you will clearly perceive that the world has never been separate from your being. You and the world are two interconnected expressions of the same unified consciousness, perpetually reflecting and mirroring each other. It removes blame, dissipates fear, and eradicates feelings of helplessness. It places the power squarely back where it has always belonged, inside the dynamic, electromagnetic rhythm of your own body. When you breathe consciously, when you feel truthfully, and when you think coherently, your DNA transmits absolute clarity. The quantum field cannot help but respond with clarity in return. This is how alignment becomes your destiny. There is no external power or entity controlling your path. There are only the perfect reflections of the light you yourself project. Everything you are currently feeling, from minor alterations in your daily habits to unexpected serendipitous meetings, serves as a powerful reminder that you are precisely in the right place, at the right time, and vibrating at the correct frequency for your unfolding journey. And if you continue to listen attentively with your heart, these subtle signs will progressively grow clearer and more distinct, much like the faint, ethereal light of dawn, gradually transforming into the brilliant radiance of the midday sun. You do not have to actively search for that light. You only need to consciously open your inner eyes and realize that it has perpetually been there, shining brightly through each of your moments, through every delicate signal the universe patiently sends, waiting for you to become still enough to truly perceive its presence. It listens intently to the intricate music of your emotions, translates that music into pure energy, and then transmits that specific vibration outwards into the boundless field of creation. This isn't abstract mysticism. It is, in essence, the very language of life itself. Everything that exists in the universe radiates a unique frequency, and all frequencies inherently seek harmony and coherence. Your DNA serves as the crucial meeting point where matter and conscious awareness meticulously exchange their intricate codes. This phenomenon does not signify that you are headed in an erroneous direction. Quite the contrary. It indicates that you are being profoundly renewed and rebuilt from your very foundations. Everything that was once intimately familiar may gradually begin to lose its distinct shape and coherence. Relationships that once felt solid and enduring may start to feel distant or disconnected. Plans that once held deep meaning and purpose may no longer align with your evolving self. It actively absorbs the vibration of your internal state and simultaneously emits a corresponding pattern of biophotons, thereby creating a continuous feedback loop between your inner world and the invisible, underlying fabric of reality. Imagine this biological antenna operating as both a powerful transmitter and a sensitive receiver, endlessly adjusting its frequency to maintain perfect resonance with its surrounding environment. When you are in a calm, centered state, the signal it emits becomes exceptionally clear, stable, and radiant. When you are consumed by fear, however, the signal fragments, producing energetic noise that significantly blurs communication with the field. The universe is not, in any sense, punishing you for experiencing fear. And when you allow this pain to consciously pass through you, instead of resisting or suppressing it, it leaves behind it a luminous space of clarity and light. Many individuals harbor a deep fear of change because they mistakenly equate losing something with inherent failure. However, in its profound truth, every loss is fundamentally an exchange of energy. When something departs from your life, a void is created, and that space is then open for something new and more aligned to enter. The universe, in its inherent wisdom, never leaves a space truly empty. If you examine your life carefully, you will perceive that every ending you have encountered has contained an implicit invitation to a new and expansive beginning. But to recognize this invitation, you must possess the courage to look beyond the initial chaos and perceived disruption. As old energy gracefully dissolves, your perceived reality can become momentarily unstable. You may experience a disorienting sensation, as if you are standing on uncertain, soft ground, unsure of what precisely is transpiring. This occurs because your soul is actively rewriting your life's script, while your conscious mind often clings tenaciously to the familiar narrative of the old chapter. That inherent sense of conflict is entirely natural and an expected part of the process. The mind, by its design, exists to maintain order, structure, and predictability. The soul, conversely, exists to expand, to explore, and to transcend boundaries. These two fundamental forces will almost inevitably collide when you embark upon a new level of awareness and self-realization. The crucial key is not to attempt to extinguish this internal conflict, but rather to learn how to stand gracefully in the midst of it, observing it without allowing yourself to identify with either side. When you master this art of detached observation, chaos no longer poses a threat to your equilibrium. Instead, it transforms into potent raw material for your profound rebirth. In the realm of physics, before a system transitions to a higher, more complex order, it consistently passes through a phase of instability. Temperature rises, existing structures vibrate intensely, and then, quite suddenly, they reorganize themselves at a more refined and intricate level. You are currently immersed in precisely that process. What you perceive as a loss of control is merely energy actively finding its new, emergent order. If you attempt to forcefully hold back this natural reordering, the phase of chaos will invariably last longer. If, however, you surrender and allow it to unfold naturally, it will swiftly reach a new, harmonious balance. This breaking process is consistently the most challenging aspect because it demands that you relinquish old roles, discard outmoded identities, and release attachments that once provided a comforting sense of safety and security. Yet, safety is not synonymous with true freedom. Many individuals spend their entire lives confined within a metaphorical golden cage of familiarity, mistakenly believing that stability equates to happiness, all while their soul yearns desperately to soar and explore. You are being profoundly invited to step beyond the confines of that cage. No one else can undertake this courageous act for you, because the key to your liberation has always, inherently, resided within your own hand. The breaking does not originate externally. The intricate minerals within your bones form crystalline matrices that enhance signal transmission, while the abundant water within your cells acts as a liquid crystal capable of storing and significantly amplifying information. The entire human system is, in essence, a living, breathing radio, finely tuned by the quality of your consciousness. When you feel a sense of disconnection, or perhaps consistently unlucky, you are not being abandoned or punished by the universe. Your internal antenna has simply drifted off its optimal frequency. At its initial manifestation, this shift may evoke feelings of emptiness, profound loneliness, or even intense fear. These are clear indicators that you are standing at the very precipice of an expansive transformation. The old is dissolving, making way for the new to gently find its entrance. In this transitional space between two worlds, you may feel as though you are suspended in the stillness between two undulating waves. Many spiritual traditions refer to this state as the void. However, the void is not an absence of something. It is, in its profound essence, a state of potent preparation. It is the crucible where potential compresses and condenses before it magnificently bursts forth into creation. If you dare to remain in the profound stillness of that space, without frantically rushing to fill it with external distractions or old habits, you will discern the softest, most subtle sound of your soul, a gentle, persistent call, guiding you inexorably forward. This is precisely where new, expansive awareness begins to crystallize and form. Do not fear the silence, for in that silence, everything is being meticulously arranged and harmonized for your highest good. When you cease running from the perceived emptiness, you will discover that it is not truly empty at all. It is teeming with boundless potential, replete with myriad opportunities, and brimming with a creative energy you have not yet fully tapped into. Everything genuinely new and transformative is born from this sacred space. You will begin to notice tangible benefits. Your physical energy increases, your recovery time from stress quickens, and insights come to you effortlessly. These are the direct biological consequences of deep resonance. Your DNA, now vibrating in perfect harmony with the quantum field, generates an internal environment of profound order. Cells communicate more efficiently, immune functions strengthen, the aging process may slow, and your creativity expands exponentially. Forgiveness does not possess the power to alter the past events. It powerfully liberates you from its restrictive frequency. You are then no longer defined or confined by what occurred in the past, but rather guided and propelled by what is presently becoming and emerging. You will perceive with much greater clarity that every person and every event that caused you pain or difficulty served as vital catalysts for your soul's expansion. They did not enter your life to wound you. Rather, they came to activate you, to awaken dormant parts of your being. When the karmic or spiritual lesson embedded within that experience is truly complete, their specific role in your journey naturally concludes. You do not need to harbor hatred or hold on to them in any way. You only need to offer gratitude for the experience and gracefully move on. In the state of genuine gratitude, your energy becomes purer and more radiant than ever before. This is the pivotal moment you transcend seeing the world through the limited eyes of a victim and begin to perceive it through the expansive vision of a conscious creator. When you comprehend that every breaking or dissolution serves a profound, inherent order, you naturally begin to cooperate with the process instead of vehemently resisting it. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin to ask, "What is this opening for me?" From that powerful, reframed question, new awareness invariably sprouts and flourishes. Breaking is, in essence, a sacred ritual of rebirth. It meticulously strips away everything that is no longer authentically true to your evolving self, returning you to your pristine essence. The gentle whisper in your chest, the undeniable pull toward a specific decision, the sudden spark of creative inspiration, all of these are frequencies being interpreted by the magnificent antenna of your DNA. When you learn to trust and follow those internal signals, reality gracefully bends around your choices because you are following the path of resonance. And the more you follow it, the more powerfully magnetic you become. Others, too, feel this shift. Coherence is, in fact, contagious. The highly coherent electromagnetic field generated by a calm, open heart can influence other energetic fields within meters, subtly entraining them into a state of harmony. This is why a single calm, centered person can profoundly change the entire energy of a room. The antenna of one individual directly affects the tuning of many. This is not about control. It is pure physics in action. Ultimately, understanding your DNA as an active antenna of consciousness fundamentally transforms how you perceive and experience life itself. Alignment is far from an abstract or theoretical concept. It represents the tangible, living bridge between two distinct worlds. Between the current reality you are actively living and the higher reality your soul has already intimately glimpsed and recognized. It does not necessitate strenuous effort, radical lifestyle overhauls, or dramatic external changes. Its sole, fundamental demand is a profound coherence, a harmonious synchronization between what you consciously think, what you authentically feel, and what you intentionally do. When these three vital aspects vibrate at the exact same frequency, you no longer find yourself chasing after life's elusive currents. Instead, life itself begins to flow and move in perfect, effortless rhythm with your being. Every reality, every circumstance, responds directly to the energetic signal you continuously emit. If internal chaos resides within you, the external world will inevitably mirror that chaos. If inner balance and tranquility fill your being, everything surrounding you will progressively begin to align and harmonize. The world is not an entity to be controlled or manipulated. It is, in its profound essence, a perfect mirror, reflecting the clarity and purity of your inner awareness. Alignment, therefore, is not a specific action you undertake, but rather a state of being you consciously cultivate. You do not achieve it through force or strenuous striving. You achieve it by returning to your natural, inherent state of coherence. The more you attempt to control external circumstances, the more you paradoxically disconnect from the natural flow of life. The more you consciously release control and embrace the present moment, the more profoundly you feel your intrinsic connection with that flow. Everything in the universe operates by the principle of resonance, and when your personal frequency precisely matches the frequency of what you genuinely desire, no arduous physical effort is truly required for it to manifest into your reality. That is the fundamental essence of the law of resonance, the profound language of energy itself. To attain that powerful point, you must deeply understand the crucial difference between merely wanting something and being in alignment with it. Wanting typically originates from a perceived sense of lack or deficiency. Alignment, conversely, springs from an inner knowing that you already possess it in your energetic blueprint. When you persistently send out the energetic signal of lack, the universe can only respond by bringing you more situations that reinforce that feeling of deficiency. This is precisely why a moment of sincere gratitude can dramatically alter the entire course of a day. It's why one conscious breath of forgiveness can dissolve years of accumulated tension. And it's why authentic love, when it is truly felt and not merely performed, creates an atmosphere where reality itself gracefully bends to the dictates of your heart. Emotion is frequency encoded with intention. When you allow yourself to feel fully and authentically, your DNA translates that raw energy into light, and that light, in turn, directly instructs matter. A deep knowing that everything is meticulously arranged for your highest good. A profound knowing that the universal flow is guiding you precisely to the right place, at the perfect moment, and towards the most supportive people. In that unwavering knowing, your energy stabilizes, and that very stability compels reality to reorganize itself harmoniously around you. Like a reliable compass, you do not need to physically move to discern your direction. You only need to be still, allowing the needle of your inner guidance to settle into its true north. Alignment is the profound stillness found within dynamic movement. It is the state of being deeply rooted and centered, even amidst the rising winds and tumultuous changes of life. It does not demand perfection from you, only profound honesty with yourself. The universe does not react to the superficiality of words. It reacts to the fundamental truth embedded within your energy. If you verbally declare belief but secretly harbor fear inside, your energy will remain fragmented, vibrating in two contradictory directions. Thus, alignment invariably begins with a process of clearing out thoughts, emotions, and actions that no longer genuinely fit the elevated frequency you aspire to live in. You do not need to attempt to change everything dramatically in a single day. Simply and gently release what no longer resonates, precisely when you become consciously aware of it. Sometimes, this clearing can be as subtle as altering how you speak to yourself, shifting from an internal, "I cannot," to a more empowering, "I am learning how," or from a mindset of, "I must fight," to one of, "I am allowing." The words you utter are not merely empty sounds. They are potent vibrations, actively shaping your reality. When you speak, you are, in essence, programming your energetic field. Therefore, consciously utilize language like sacred codes. Speak into existence what you genuinely wish to become, not what you fear or wish to avoid. When you consistently maintain this practice, you will gradually begin to perceive a subtle yet profound shift in your emotional landscape. You no longer wait with anxious impatience, but with a deep sense of inner peace. You no longer act from a place of perceived lack, but from an overflowing sense of inner fullness. That, precisely, is the turning point. The moment the universe begins to respond to you, as if you have already become that person you aspire to be. Alignment is not merely a naive, blind positivity. It is the profound unity, the seamless integration between your inner and outer worlds. It is the state where you are no longer divided or fragmented within yourself. It is when your thoughts are in perfect harmony with your feelings, rather than contradicting them. A person truly aligned with the frequency of love is not someone who actively searches for or finds love in external circumstances, but someone who has fundamentally become love itself. A person truly aligned with freedom is not one who merely escapes external limits or constraints. When you reach this elevated state, you no longer anxiously ask when what you desire will manifest, because you intimately realize it is already profoundly present within your energetic field. From that place of deep inner knowing, the anxious waiting disappears entirely, and quiet, unshakable trust takes its rightful place. That, precisely, is the frequency of miracles. Miracles do not occur because some external force miraculously intervenes in your life. They manifest because you finally cease blocking the natural, effortless flow of universal energy. The universe does not require immense effort from you to create wonders and extraordinary manifestations. It only requires that its inherent flow not be obstructed or resisted. And when you consciously stop doubting, stop forcing, and stop resisting, miracles begin to unfold continuously and naturally, in the form of what you might casually refer to as coincidence, opportunity, or luck. But in its profound truth, these are simply the natural, harmonious reactions of energy once it is completely free of resistance. The more you consciously dwell in this profound state of trust, the more expansively the flow manifests in your life. Alignment is also the exquisite art of consistency. Not consistency in achieving specific outcomes, but consistency in maintaining an elevated internal state of being. Each day, you consciously return to the feeling of already living in the reality you are gracefully moving toward. When you eat as someone who is deeply fulfilled and nourished. When you engage in your work, you work as one who is divinely guided and purposeful. When you rest as one who possesses the inner knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly and precisely as it should. This unwavering consistency renders your personal energy unshakable and unperturbed by external noise or transient circumstances. Even as the world around you continues to shift and change, you steadfastly maintain your inner rhythm and coherence. From that profound stability, small, undeniable proofs begin to appear, much like the signs you have diligently learned to notice along your journey. Each sign serves as a powerful confirmation that your personal frequency meticulously matches the new reality you are co-creating. Be deeply grateful for each and every one, for gratitude is the potent act that significantly strengthens and reinforces your alignment. When you express genuine gratitude, you are, in essence, declaring to the universe that you have already received. And once you have received, the universe, in its boundless generosity, can only send more. The cycle of energy fundamentally moves in this manner, not through strenuous effort, but through profound harmony and resonance. Alignment, therefore, is never a static destination to be reached, but rather an ongoing, dynamic dance between you and the universe, an intricate interplay between your breath and the vastness of space, between your conscious intention and your graceful surrender. Whenever you find yourself losing the rhythm or feeling off kilter, simply pause, take a deep, conscious breath, and listen once again to the steady beat of your own heart. It inherently knows the way back to your center. In that profound center, no questions remain, for you realize with absolute certainty that you and the universe are ultimately one. And from that sacred point of union, everything you seek is no longer perceived as being ahead of you in some distant future. It is already seamlessly merged into each present moment you are consciously living. When alignment is firmly established, when you are no longer in internal conflict with yourself, what naturally follows is not merely maintenance of that state, but a powerful activation. Alignment embodies stillness. Activation embodies motion and dynamic expression. It is akin to meticulously tuning a radio to the precise frequency, and then consciously turning up the volume so that your entire body and soul can move and resonate with that vibrant rhythm. Many individuals pause at the stage of alignment, believing it to be the ultimate goal. But energy, by its very nature, never ceases. It must be continuously transmitted, amplified, and expanded outward. Activation is the stage where your personal frequency begins to profoundly influence not only your individual energetic field, but also the broader collective field of consciousness. Everything, indeed, begins within. Yet, to truly shape and manifest reality in a tangible way, that inner energy must be consciously expressed and broadcast outward. When you permit energy to flow freely and unimpeded through you, that powerful flow gracefully carries you toward destined encounters, orchestrates seemingly random but precisely timed opportunities, and fosters connections that, while appearing accidental, are meticulously synchronized. That is the moment you profoundly realize you are no longer living reactively to external circumstances, but rather living with an energetic intentionality that guides your every step. Activation is the vibrant aliveness of the soul fully embodied within the physical form. It is the state where you not only intellectually know who you are, but you profoundly feel that frequency moving dynamically through every cell, every breath, and every step you take. In this elevated state, you no longer need to anxiously question what to do, because action becomes natural and spontaneous, arising not from a forced will or effort, but from the inherent wisdom of the flow itself. This marks the crucial difference between forced action, driven by external pressures, and inspired action, arising from authentic inner guidance. One originates from a place of fear. The other springs from unwavering faith. When your energy is fully activated, every action you undertake carries a higher, more potent vibration, and the outcomes depend less on strenuous physical effort and more on the crystalline clarity of the energy you emit. Energy science sometimes refers to this phenomenon as extended resonance, the process by which one strong, coherent frequency brings weaker, disparate frequencies into the same harmonious rhythm. That is precisely why, when you operate at a high frequency, you not only transform your own personal life, but also profoundly influence those around you. Your inner calm has the power to soften their personal storms. Your unwavering belief imbues them with courage and conviction. Your experience of inner freedom sparks within them a deep craving for their own liberation. You do not need to persuade, convince, or prove anything to anyone. You simply need to be your authentic self. When your energy is fully activated, you effectively become a resonant point, a powerful magnet within the quantum field, a sacred space where everything aligned with your highest good effortlessly finds its way to you. However, to truly attain and sustain that activated state, you must deeply understand that activation does not stem from doing more, but rather from being truer to yourself. You cannot genuinely activate a high frequency while simultaneously wearing masks or facades to appease the expectations of others. Activation demands a radical and uncompromising honesty with yourself, because energy can only flow freely and purely when it is no longer distorted or diluted by pretense and inauthenticity. Each instance you courageously speak your truth, even if your voice trembles slightly, you activate potent energy. Each time you act upon your intuition, even without full knowledge of the outcome, you activate energy. Each time you choose love over defensive reactions, trust over debilitating fear, and release over rigid control, you elevate your frequency significantly. These seemingly small, conscious choices function as the universe's internal switches. They send a clear and unequivocal message that you are ready and willing to live fully in the flow of your soul's authentic expression. When energy activates within you, you first notice the profound shift manifesting in your physical body, a palpable lightness, an undeniable clarity of mind, and a remarkable strengthening of your intuition. You may feel subtle, invigorating currents moving throughout your being, as if your body has transformed into a highly sensitive antenna for higher, more refined energies. This is not mere imagination, but your nervous system actively synchronizing with an elevated frequency, integrating it into your physical form. Those living in a state of activation often experience time itself expanding and contracting fluidly. Events unfold with impeccable timing. People and opportune moments align effortlessly. This is because when you live in the flow frequency, you no longer feel the need to forcefully intervene or manipulate circumstances. You gracefully allow them to unfold. Yet, this profound state of activation cannot sustain itself indefinitely without proper nourishment. Energy, much like a vibrant fire, requires the right fuel to continue burning brightly. That essential fuel consists of the conscious practices that consistently maintain your vibration at a high level. Meditation, deliberate conscious breathing, introspective, emotional journaling, mindful movement, and consistent contact with the natural world. Each of these is not merely a habit, but a sacred ritual. Every time you engage in these practices with full presence and intention, you communicate a clear message to the universe. I am actively maintaining this elevated frequency. I am sustaining this connection, and I am embracing this journey of continuous expansion.